Another Monday here on campus, and that just means another episode of the Coach's Corner here at the Tivoli Tap House. I'm your host, Celeste, Zubia, and with me is Juan Arellano. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good today. I'm very excited on all the games that happened this weekend with soccer and volleyball too.
Yeah, so this weekend was the first weekend here at home where the fall sports came into full gear. So we're going to talk to you guys about that. Juan, who are we having on the show today?
So first of all, we have brand new head coach here at MSU Denver, Trent Mack. He's going to be the first-year head coach for cross country. Then we have second-year head coach Jenny Glenn. She's going to give us an insight on the Colorado Premier Challenge since they hosted it here this weekend. And then we're going to have Rueben Gonzalez, the freshman from New Mexico, who's going to be also with us here. And he's also going to be talking to us about how cross country is going in his first year as a roadrunner.
Awesome. It's going to be a fun show. So before we get to all that, let's catch you guys up on all the roadrunner sports that happened this past weekend. Coach Glenn and her squad hosted the annual Colorado Premier Challenge, where they played 4 games in 2 days against the best of the best in the nation. The team went 1-3 against some top-notch opponents, defeating Florida Southern 3-2, and did so on the shoulders of Vasadi Fiatoa. The senior pounded out 13 kills, hitting .462, while earning all tournament team honors.
On the other hand, the women's soccer team was finally at home at the Regency Athletic Complex this weekend. They first took on D2 powerhouse Seattle Pacific and scored 53 seconds into the match by Elise Bernard to take the 1-0 lead. But the Falcons scored 2 goals in the second half to take the 2-1 win. Then the #1 team in the nation in Western Washington came to the Mile High City on Sunday. And oh, by the way, the Vikings are the defending national champions. This was an incredible game as both teams fought tooth and nail to try and find the back of the net. But it was Western Washington who scored the only goal, giving our Roadrunners another defeat in the season.
The men's team was also home for a couple games this past weekend. They first dropped their game against Seattle Pacific 2-1 last Thursday. Newcomer Moritz Walter scored the lone goal for the red and blue. Metro goalkeeper James Tanner made a PK save that kept MSU Denver in the game until the very end. Western Washington also put a 2-1 loss on the home team, with Kevin Beck notching the only goal for Coach Tittle's squad.
And finally, the cross-country team also competed in state, taking part in the Colorado College Invitational in Colorado Springs. The men's team finished 3rd as Brandon Croggy finished 10th, with fellow runners Jason Corey and Jacob Link finishing in the top 30. The women finished 6th at the meet as Alden Gardo crossed the finish line in 11th place. Mally Smith also ran well, finishing 22nd overall. The team will next compete in the Fayetteville, Arkansas at the Chili Peppers Cross Country Festival at the end of the month.
All right, guys, so now we welcome in the new cross-country coach here at MSU Denver, head coach Trent Mack. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from and why you chose to come here and coach at MSU Denver.
Well, I mean, the biggest part is they're giving me an opportunity to be a part of this program, which I am really excited about. I grew up in South Dakota. That's where a lot of my coaching experience came from, at Black Hills State, and then Eastern South Dakota at Dakota State before I took an opportunity out in Ohio. I was at Ashland for 5 years before really family brought me back to Colorado. But definitely excited. It's a not only an athletic area community, but definitely a running community in this part of the country.
All right, so you mentioned that you went to Black Hills State University and you were also an alumni there, so you're kind of familiar with the RMAC conference. So how tough of a conference is it?
I am familiar a little bit with the conference. When I was at Black Hills State, we weren't in the RMAC, but because of the location of where the school's at, we competed in Colorado a lot.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of those teams at Colorado State invites and stuff. But through my experience at Ashland, who was also Division II, at the national level, at the NCAA meets, we'd see a lot of these RMAC schools. And RMAC is competitive, and I'm actually really excited to be a part of that because you look at any given week, we go to an early season invite down in Colorado Springs, Colorado College invite, and we're seeing some of the top teams in the country. And so for us, we can really gain valuable experience from seeing teams like that have that kind of depth and quality early in the season, and really gives us experience that some teams won't have come the end of the season.
All right, Coach, so before you came here, what are some things that you knew about MSU Denver cross country?
I remember watching the programs when they competed at some of the past NCAA championships, especially the indoor and outdoor seasons. I knew that MSU had a lot of unique opportunities to offer, not your traditional campus setting. I know, you see a wider range of ages on campus and stuff. So I think you see opportunities for, individuals that maybe are coming to campus or coming to the university that maybe straight out of high school weren't maybe pursuing an opportunity to be a student athlete, but also, I mean, you're in Denver, Colorado, and so I think you see a lot of students who, student athletes that grew up in this part of the country that are like, man, why not continue on with my academic and athletic career here? So I think, the university itself, I'm actually still learning a lot about, but some amazing academic majors and unique opportunities with the internships and stuff that they offer. So I think it really gives you a valuable experience that's really, you're put into, kind of like life's reality with your academics and athletics. And I think as a team, both the athletes and myself together are still figuring out how we really take advantage of that.
So you mentioned that you're still getting to learn a lot about the university and your team. So what was the first thing that you told your team after getting the job, and what are some of the things that the veterans from the squad are telling you about the Roadrunner way to run?
I think the first thing that I tried to get across to them was to be patient. I think change is hard for anybody, whether good or bad. I said, you've had past coaches and they've done some things probably that you've liked, and I may do some stuff differently. It doesn't mean it's wrong or right, but I think our opportunity to have the most success is getting on the same page as a coach and the student athlete part. And so I just asked for them to be patient as we go through kind of the learning process. We're not using this year purely as a learning curve. We want to be competitive and we want to have some success, but I think if you force the issue, that's where you really run into the challenges.
So Coach, talk to us a little bit about Rueben Gonzalez and what he's been able to do for you guys his first year of running. Man,
Ruben's been thrown into the fire. I think especially on the men's side of cross country, which is a little different. These freshmen come in, and typically in high school around the country, they run 5,000 meters. And when you come into college, most of the season, we're going to be racing 8,000 meters. We get to the championship part of the season, we run 10,000 meters, double that distance. And so it's not quite as extreme of a change on the women's side. So for a guy like Rueben to come in as a freshman, and he's kind of in a little unknown territory, racing that long of a distance, but he's handled it really well. And then on top of racing that distance that he's never seen before, he's been a scorer for us both of our first two competitions, and so he's handling it really well with a lot of maturity. Really excited about not only what Rueben can do this year, but really utilizing what Rueben can do for us as a team building forward. So I'm encouraged with what he's doing.
So you have a few freshmen like Rueben on the team, and you're also brand new to the squad. So who are the leaders? Who are those people that are stepping it up on the squad for you?
The other thing, going back to the question you asked earlier, I asked each one of them to come into the program and during the first few weeks here figure out how they can be a leader, every single one of them. I think each one of them brings something unique to the program, brings strengths and weaknesses. We call them challenges, things that we're trying to work on and overcome as an individual, but what are their strengths, and that's what I want them to focus on, and how they can allow their teammates to really utilize their strengths. And so I don't think that we've looked at it as one individual leader and who's really going to set the way. Obviously, the upperclassmen in terms of some of the areas we train on and being familiar with that, being familiar with some of the courses we're racing on have been very helpful, and just really, I think, establishing the expectations of the level of commitment it takes to be competitive at this level. So our upperclassmen like Brandon and Jason have been, developed some great leadership. On the women's side, Erica Ruiz is redshirting this year, but has really been a helpful leader. You mentioned Alden earlier at our meet last weekend. Redshirt freshman going out and finishing for our top performer. So I think that the youngsters have really absorbed kind of the approach that I want them to take, but also the information that their upperclassmen have given them. And I think we're making good progress with it.
So you guys competed in the Colorado College Invite last weekend. How did that go for your team?
I think my response to everybody has been pretty similar. It's been progress. That's what we're looking for. I think if we're constantly moving forward, I don't think we never want to put limits on how much progress we can make any week, but we're trying to come out of each meet with more experience and something to build on. We go to Chili Pepper in a couple weeks, completely different race. You're talking, 500 or more individuals in each race. You need to race a little differently in that type of race environment, so just trying to build off each race and what it offers.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming out on the show. We hope your first time on the Coach's Corner wasn't too bad.
I love it. I love this energy.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck this season. Well, don't go anywhere, guys, because we're going to take it to volleyball, where second-year head coach Jenny Glenn is going to come talk to us about their past weekend.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks. Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
Hola, I'm Jackie Lopez, senior libero from the women's volleyball team.
Joust at the net. Great job there by Lopez. Comes diving in.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy. I'm Basachi Fiatoa, senior middle blocker from Roadrunners volleyball team.
Excuse me, Gabby Varela. And hard hit there by Fiatoa, kind of coming out of nowhere.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back, and before we get into our interview with head coach Jenny Glenn, I want to tell you about an awesome event here at the Tivoli Tap House. It's going to be October 4th. Sorry, it's the Great Beer Festival here on campus. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. where 15 breweries are going to be here, so you guys can come, show your ID, taste all the beers that you want, but make sure you call an Uber so you guys can get home safe.
Why are you going to be calling an Uber? Why are we sponsoring them?
Why are you asking so many questions,
Coach's Corner,
Juan?
right?
Goodbye. Anyways, Coach, last time we spoke to you, it was preseason, so now that you guys were able to have your first weekend here at home, talk to us a little bit about the Colorado Premier Challenge and how it was to host such a big tournament.
Yeah, the Colorado Premier is a great tournament. I mean, we bring in all ranked teams or teams receiving votes. So we had number 1, number 2, number 3 in the country here this weekend, which is just an awesome opportunity to have that kind of caliber on our home floor to start our season off. It does a great job at challenging us. There's no time to come up for air during the Colorado Premier, so you just have to move on quickly from match to match, and it just really challenged us to see what our weaknesses are and what we need to continue to improve upon.
So there was a lot of ranked teams here at the tournament. So what are you watching from these teams? Like what sort of stuff are you watching from their talent?
Well, I think we are always looking to see what we need to do to win a national championship. We have the many-time defending national championship team here in Concordia St. Paul, who is actually upset by Southwest Minnesota State. But, you know, we get to sit there and watch what it takes to win at that level. So I think it's good for our athletes. It's good for us to see, you know, we're not that far off, but we definitely have to improve in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
So tell your student athletes, talk about like your student athletes, you know, heading into this tournament. You guys had a lot of brand new faces, you know, on your team. So kind of tell us like what you told them before heading into the tournament.
You know, coming off last weekend, we're still going through some growing pains, figuring out our lineup. We have a lot of options. I've mentioned this before, but I think we have a lot more depth this year than we've had in the past, and we can win with multiple lineups. So it's constant battle and practice to see who's going to be on the floor at the next match. So going into the tournament, you know, we had a little bit of a up and down weekend our first weekend. It's about getting better right now. We knew it would be challenging. We want to win, obviously, especially with a regional rival, Angelo, on our home court in the first match. So we're always going for that. But, you know, I told them if we were aggressive and we were growing and we were challenging teams and playing well on our side of the net, I would be pleased at the end of the tournament.
All right, so we saw that you guys, as a team, were watching the championship game right there, front court. So, what do you hope that all the volleyball players gain from this championship game, from watching that?
Well, yeah, hopefully it makes them hungry to be there. You know, we're hosting the national championship here in 2019, and we want to be in the Elite Eight that year. So, it gives other kids an opportunity to see up close and personal what it takes to be at that level, and the things that are not scoring on them that are scoring on us, and shots that they have that we need to develop, and all those kind of things. So hopefully it makes them hungry and motivates them.
So Coach, after the tournament was over, what are some things that you can look back on and try to improve on for RMAC play?
We have a lot to improve upon. My list is really long, like usual. We just combined a list with my assistants today, and it's quite long. So we just have to, pick out the things that are going to affect us mostly in this coming weekend that we need to get better at. So we've identified those things. We're going to change practices up a little bit this week because we need to find a new gear in a lot of ways, and the challenge brought that out in us, and I think the team's ready to respond.
All right, so we saw that Vasari Fiatoa is back for this season. What did you see from her in the tournament? We know that she earned an all-tournament team, so what did you see from her, and what did you like?
Yeah, Vasari had a great weekend. Offensively, her numbers were incredible. So, that's what we expect from her, is the offensive side of the game, but I thought she handled both sides of the game well, offensively and defensively. It's just great to have her presence back on the court and her energy that she brings, and looking forward to continued success.
So after this tournament, was there anything that surprised you? Like, were there any players that kind of stepped up and took a leadership role that you weren't really expecting?
Well, we've been trying a lot on the right side, and I think we finally found a solution there in our last couple of matches. Alexis Benda, a freshman, really stepped up and came through for us and did a good job scoring, and our middle scoring opened up opportunities for her as well, but that was fun to see her kind of emerge and have some good matches.
So from non-conference play to RMAC play this weekend, how do you prepare differently for that, and what is different from non-conference rivals to RMAC rivals?
There's more history with the rivals. We play Regis this Friday, and it's a heated rivalry between us. We just co-hosted the tournament, and Joel and I are talking on Saturday, and now we got to go compete against each other this Friday. So, it's always a fun time to play rival schools, and our teams just got to understand, just like every other match, it's another match, and we have to prepare for it the same way, and we have to play 1 point at a time and find ways to win just like we would with any other match.
So you guys have Regis coming up, and they also have a new coach this year. Can you give us like a quick little preview on the team, or kind of what you guys are most looking forward to play him?
Yeah, Joel's been there for I think 12 years, so he's not a new face, but has stepped into the head coaching position this year. I think we're going to see a very good Regis team. They have some new kids that are definitely producing for them, as well as some returning players that were young last year. So I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to be a really fun match. But I expect it to be a battle.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us on the show today.
Absolutely.
We wish you the best of luck when you guys hit RMAC play.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So stay tuned, because we're going to take it back to cross country and bring in freshman runner Rueben Gonzalez.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks. Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
I'm Brandon Krogge. I'm a senior at MSU Denver. I run for MSU Denver cross-country team. You're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
My name is Erica Ruiz, and I am a senior at MSU Denver. You are watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
So glad that you guys are back with us. And before we get to Rueben Gonzalez, I'm going to tell you guys to follow us on Twitter at metrostsports.com. We have everything you could possibly want to see. Highlights, scores, games, and you can even listen to Juan's call on soccer. He did so good last weekend. All right, so now we're going to bring in freshman runner Rueben Gonzalez. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you.
So now that we're talking about Twitter, I just have to ask, do you use Twitter? Do you tweet a lot?
Not a whole lot, but I have a Twitter, yeah.
Okay, all right. What's the @ so you can gain some followers here?
All right, I'm down. At Rube the Boob.
Rube the Boob. All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of original right there.
Hey, thanks, man.
So you're from Las Cruces, New Mexico. What kind of brought you to come to Denver other than, continuing, college education?
Well, I really like Denver as a city. It's a lot bigger than Las Cruces, and I have some family here. And I was like, I definitely have the opportunity to live with them or something. And I just thought it'd be cool to come up here.
Yeah.
It's a little far from home, which is also cool, I think. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your major and what is your dream job?
Ooh, well, I'm majoring in political science. I'm not really sure what I want to do with my life,
Same. On the same page.
I just think it's really interesting, but, we'll see where it takes me.
Yeah, well, you're just a freshman, so there's still time for that. So.
Oh, yeah, it's not, set in stone or anything yet, so.
So what got you into running or growing up? Were you playing any other sports, or has running always been your #1 thing?
Yeah, in middle school, I used to play football and, basketball and stuff. And we had this one workout where they made us run a bunch, and I was in the front, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll try this out. And so I joined the track team, and since then I've just always ran.
So we had Coach Mack earlier on the show. What can you tell us about his coaching style? What do you like about him, and how he challenges you?
Oh, well, Coach Mack is great. I love him. He's super structured. He's individual. He knows his stuff because he's really experienced. He definitely challenges us every day.
Yeah.
He's telling us running versus training. You're not out there just jogging or running, just stay in shape or something. You're doing it with a purpose. With the mindset to win and get better and stuff. So in that respect, mentally, he's pretty good for that.
So talk about your last meet. You finished 49th and then 3rd on your team. How did that race go for you?
It was good. I didn't really know what to expect because it was my first 8K race. So it was really trying to get my feet wet a little bit, test the waters.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with it. I didn't really know when to start pressing the pace or anything because it was just a little bit longer than what I was used to, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you mentioned right now, and Coach also mentioned that it was your first time running an 8,000 meter race, and you're usually used to 5,000 in high school, so how different was that?
It was a lot different. I got to the 5K mark, and I was like, wow, I got to do do another 3K right now. This is, I was like, wow.
It was brutal then.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. I was like, I don't know, when does this end, But, it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
So, what are your goals for this first year? What do you hope to continue to do for the remainder of the season?
I definitely want to stay in the top 5 for our team. Hopefully, be able to travel and stuff with them. I really want to shave about a minute off my 8K time that I just ran.
Yeah.
I want to close the gap between me and the top guy on our team, Crage, Brandon. I want to be within a minute or 10 or so from him, hopefully. So and eventually be running really fast times, contending in top 10 for different races and stuff. So.
All right, so you guys went to the Colorado Challenge, and you saw a lot of RMAC schools right there. So how are you looking forward to the RMAC to facing RMAC schools to the RMAC tournament?
Man, it's going to be tough. RMAC has some really good schools. Mines are really good. Adams State's really good. So is Pueblo. They're over nationally ranked, cross country. They're going to be tough. It's a lot of really good competition, which is great. It's exciting to, run against the top guys in the country.
Yeah, and Adams is always finishing right there in the national championships.
Oh, dude, definitely. It's really exciting to get to run these guys. Race against them every weekend, basically. So
when it comes to running, do you have a preference grass, gravel, concrete, or what's your #1 preference?
Ooh, I don't know, probably soft packed trails, crushed gravel or something like that. I don't really like grass that much. Or concrete. Yeah, concrete hurts after a while, but.
All right, so you're just a freshman this year, but you're already familiar with the team. So who are the leaders of this squad, and what do they tell you to motivate you?
Okay, let's see, Brandon Crage probably. He's Yeah, he's like the leader mostly. I look up to him a lot. You know, he's a senior and everything. He's really good. He's our top guy. When it comes to like advice and stuff, you know, I'll ask him like, you know, hey man, like how should I approach this like workout or this race or something, and he'll be like, yo, you know, like, you know, do this, this, and this. But I don't know, pretty much just him, you know.
So outside of running, what are your hobbies? Because I know you can't just like to run.
Yeah.
Even just thinking about all this running is already making me tired. I'm not a runner whatsoever.
All right. Well, I like to, you know, collect like vinyl records and stuff like that. That's a big hobby of mine. I like that. I like to longboard. Cool. I like going to like, you know, concerts, like local shows and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
What sort of music are you into then?
What sort of music? I like a lot of maybe like indie and like underground music, kind of. You know, a little bit of hip hop too. You know, I like some hip hop.
I bought my first vinyl record a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, the Illmatic one. It's like framed and hung up in my room. Not to play it, just for decoration.
Hey, you know, there's some pretty like nice looking ones out there. You just gotta, you know, keep
I was like,
to
I have
look
to
at.
buy it. I have to buy it.
All right, so what is the thing that you miss the most about Las Cruces?
Oh, the Mexican food. Let me tell you. Yeah, man, the green chili, you know, all that. I could just like the other day I woke up and I was like, you know, I'm going to go to get some gorditas, you know, because there's this really good place like a block or two from where I live, and then I was like, oh, I'm in Denver.
That just made me real hungry. And
I know, man, me too, me too.
Well, Rueben, thanks so much for coming on the show. We had a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so before we let you guys go, we're going to get you guys caught up on what's going to happen this upcoming weekend in Roadrunner sports. We'll start with men's soccer as they head on the road this weekend. They'll first head to Lakewood to take on Colorado Christian. Then it's on to Rapid City, South Dakota to take on South Dakota Mines on Sunday. The women will be right back here at home at the Regency Athletic Complex. They'll be under the lights taking on the team picked to win the conference in the Colorado School of Mines. So wear that red and come out at 6 p.m. to support the Roadrunners. Then on Sunday, they'll host Colorado Christian at 1 p.m.
The new tennis season gets underway this weekend. The men will host Nebraska Kearney on Thursday at 3 p.m. at the Regency Athletic Complex. Then it's on the road to take on 3 opponents in 2 days. Then women have a similar schedule as the men, hosting the Lopers at 3 p.m. on Thursday, and then to Pueblo for 3 more opponents. The volleyball team also will be taking on their talents on the road, first facing off against Regis University just 5 miles from campus. I wish it was 5 minutes. That game is set to go off at 7 p.m. So head on out to the Regis Fieldhouse to cheer on Coach Glenn as her squad. Then the team will bust it to Chadron, Nebraska to face off against the Eagles from Chadron State.
All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this week's show. We want to thank Rueben Gonzalez, Trent Mack, and Jenny Glenn so much for coming out. For Serena Espinoza, Eric Lansing, Juan Arellano, and the whole MSBN crew, I'm Celeste Zubia, and we'll see you guys next week.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.